I want to talk about Lex P, affairs, cheating, baby mothers, baby fathers, and all the like. But before we get into that, I want to welcome y'all back to another episode of Undiagnosed Baddie, your favorite daily 10-minute motherfucking podcast. We out here talking big things. I just want to, before I start, I want to give the definition of affair. Okay, because this word has been tossed around and people have been questioning the word, the definition of affair, because they're like, I thought that was only something that could happen between married people. But per the dictionary, it says it is a sexual relationship between two people, one or both of whom are married to or in a long-term relationship with someone else. So yes, not being married, you can absolutely have an affair on your partner, and it's up to y'all to determine what long term is. So for me, long term is somebody over 2 years. Over 2 years, we need to be getting married, right? If we're in an exclusive relationship, we absolutely need to be headed that way. I'm crazy. Ask me to marry you tomorrow. We can. Why not? Right? Okay. So that's just how I feel about that. But this is not about me. This is about Lex. So all these rumors came out that she was dealing with this dude named Rapper Bay, right? And while she was dealing with Rapper Bay, he was in a relationship with someone else for 8 years, and Lex was allegedly, this whole episode is allegedly, dealing with this man for 6 years. Now, before I go on, I just want to say this: if you came here to think I was going to talk shit about Lex P, that's not it. That's not it, and that's not it at all. We love a good Lex P on this side. I think she's great. It was amazing. I used to be on Twitter back in the day, seeing people get their podcast started, doing everything that they want to do, putting the work in, garnering, getting the audience, garnering the attention, and getting to where she needs to be. And that exact reason is why I really don't want to hear what the baby mother got to say. And that's because as she's stating all her grievances, she goes, and Lex just gets to sit up on stage and go on tour and have the best podcast ever. And it's like, oh, that's what this is about. Lex's getting attention, her celebrity status, or what she's getting out of life, what she put into is coming to fruition, and now you're upset because your businesses and your life is shattered. Now, I'm not saying that she shouldn't be upset. However, this has been about 4 or 5 years since it's been over, and I'm not telling anybody how long they should grieve a relationship. But what I am telling somebody is that if a man fucks you over, baby, boss up, and that's the only way you could do that shit. That's the only way you could do that shit. However, whatever happened in the beginning, if Lex was dealing with that man, I don't know. I don't know. But what I will say is this, all right? There comes a time where you have to blame the person that did it and not the person that they were also doing it with. Okay? Listen, there have been times, and I know this is probably gonna, it may be a shock to some, it may not be a shock to some. And I go back and forth and I grapple with it, and I'm gonna put y'all into a little bit of my business too as I talk about this. There have been times when I've dealt with a married man, but there's also married men that are allowed to have women on the side. And a lot of people go into this marriage thing, right? So the definitions and what marriage is supposed to be have been so skewed to it's supposed to be one and this and that under God. But what if you do come to a union of marriage and it's not under necessarily God, and you make your own rules for your union? What about that? And so many people don't like to hear that. So many people don't want to understand that. So many people don't want to understand the art of respectful polygamy. And I have this wife and I have this girlfriend, and my wife knows of my girlfriend, and my girlfriend don't start no shit, and she's happy and this person's happy. And what I want to remind gentlemen, and what I want to remind ladies that go into relationships like this, is that he has to have enough money too. You're not supposed to be struggling. He has to have enough money to maintain his household, his wife, if they have children, if they have dogs, in a manner that that wife wants to live. Period. Then you have the side joint. Most of the time, it's the opposite type of woman, and personality wise, than it is from the wife. And and it just works for him. But again, he has to have the money to be able to do this. I want y'all to understand that. All right. Now, I will say this. I'm going to talk about another type of husband and wife relationship where you have the husband that marries the safe wife. She's going to be the mother of my kids. I know she's going to be a good mother. I know she's going to take care of my kids, right? And you have the man that cheats on that woman with the fun girl. You can sit here and say, she knew he was married. She knew. He knew too. There's not ever going to be a time and a place where you can get me to blame the outside person, be it a man or a woman, because there's only one person that knew the rules, the structure, the obligations of your marriage, and it is the one that you're married to, and that's it. And that's the conversations that people have to have. People also have to not be judgmental about what goes on in other people's homes and what other people allow in their marriage. I know one couple that was married, that are still married. Okay, they're still married. And there was, okay, we can have an open marriage. What is that? What does that look like? And so it's like, hey, we come first, but if you want to dibble and dabble, I would like to know if you're dibbling and dabbling. Okay. Like, and it's once you start dibbling and dabbling, it's like, okay, if you're going to be having sex with someone, if you're going to be taking someone out, so I don't look like a fucking fool outside, right? Part of open relationships, a major key that holds relationships together in open relationships is the transparency, communication. You have to be transparent with your person. You cannot be secretive. You cannot, because then after that, that's what? An affair. That's something totally different. You're not being fair to the other person. And oftentimes I see that men say, oh, yeah, my wife can have a girlfriend, but she can't have no boyfriend. And what is that about? I'm getting off topic about Lex P in this entire situation. It coincides if you follow me, but y'all feeling me? Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Okay, so before I continue, I do want to ask y'all, have y'all ever dealt with a married person, a man or a woman? Everybody do whatever they do. And also, did you know that they were married? Also, what were the perks that you were getting? And how did that end up? How did that work out? Like, I want to be nosy. I love when y'all tell stories in the comments. Y'all, if y'all are new here, make sure y'all go and check out my other videos because Brooke tells a story in the comments, honey. You know what I'm saying? There's a few where Keys tell stories in the comments, but I really love when people come and they are honest about what has happened in their life. That doesn't mean they're at the same space. That just means it's something that happened, right? So as far as it's concerned with me, and a lot of women love to say karma, 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 karma. You deal with somebody's man, somebody's gonna deal with your man. Baby, all these niggas ain't it. You just gotta pick the best one. You have to pick the best one. I don't think there should be Lex hate right now. From what I gathered from this entire quote unquote exposure is that the girl is upset that Lex is doing it real big. You know what I'm saying? Like the girl is upset. And with that, cause she was also saying, y'all saying I'm bitter, y'all saying I'm holding on this for too long, but my life was destroyed and this, and I get it. Some people can't move past certain stages of grief. And that's unfortunate for her. But at the same time, she should be exposing. That's what happens when you don't do what you're supposed to do and put your shit on, do not disturb. But at the same time, she should not necessarily be exposing Lex P. It should have been, guess who did what? Guess which podcaster my man was dealing with. It's a lot of women podcasters out here. That would have stirred the pot real big. You always have to be strategic about when you come out and expose someone. And in this quote unquote exposure, this alleged exposure, because we always have to say exposure so nobody's getting sued over here, is that you have to know which way you want to go with it. Okay, you have the attention. What you gonna do with it? What are you gonna do with it? You gonna flip it? You gonna make the money off of it? Are you going on a tour of podcasts? What are you going to do now that you have the attention? Did you even have that in mind? Right? Because you trying to make money off Lex's name. So now what? I don't think Lex needs to have her on the podcast. I don't think Lex needs to address it. I think it's funny. Sometimes Lex, do the Beyonce, zip it. Don't say shit. Don't entertain this. Don't entertain this unless you want to. And don't let her make no money off your motherfucking name. Huh? Oh, all right. Welcome to Undiagnosed Baddie.